Good morning everybody. Okay, in last class we discussed something from electoral politics. Okay, did you read your textbook very carefully? Okay, on the basis of the previous topic we understood something. What is that? What is election? For what purpose here is election conducted? Okay. What is the need of election? And that type of things we already studied earlier. Today we want to discuss more details related to this topic. That means the election. What is election? Why do we need election? Next one. What makes an election democratic? But then we want to discuss what makes an election democratic. We moving on a new topic. What is that? What makes an election democratic? Okay. Elections can be held in many ways. We know that here is elections that held in different ways. All democratic countries hold elections. Okay. We know that all democratic countries there is election held. But most non-democratic countries also hold some kind of elections. Listen. Here is election held in many ways. Most of the democratic countries there is all democratic countries they hold elections. But most non-democratic countries also hold some kind of elections. How do we distinguish democratic elections from any other election? Most of the country there is held elections. How can we classify or how can we distinguish these elections are democratic, other elections are not democratic? How can we classify these elections? How can we identify which is democratic, which is non-democratic? Okay. We have discussed this question briefly in chapter 2. We already discussed how we can classify is it democratic or not. We discussed many examples of countries where elections are held but they can't really be called democratic elections. Okay, on the basis of we understood in all countries there is conducted election or there held an election process or election, but that is not completely democratic. Okay, because we know one thing, if a democratic election, there is some speciality, okay, like free and fair election, but in non-democratic or that is not completely democratic, there is no complete freedom. We already discussed earlier in which occasion they lost the complete freedom. Okay. Here, we discussed many examples of countries where elections are held but they can't really be called democratic elections. We already studied many types of elections but that is not fully democratic elections. Let us recall what we learned and start with a simple list of the minimum conditions of a democratic election. Okay, we already discussed something. On the basis of here is briefly we want to discuss. The first one, everyone should be able to choose. This means that everyone should have one vote, every should have equal value. Listen, here we discussed some, that is the start a simple list of the minimum condition of a democratic election. Democratic elections minimum condition. What is the first condition? Everyone should be able to choose. That means each person have one vote, then one value. Okay, listen here. Everyone should have one vote and every vote should have an equal value. Everyone should have one vote and then here is every vote have an equal value. That is the speciality. Is it clear? The second one, there should be something to choose from. Parties and candidates should be free to contest election and should offer some real choice to the voters. Listen, first one here is one person have one vote, okay, that have a equal value. Then another thing, there should be something to choose from. Parties and candidates should be free to contest election. Here is parties and candidates, they can free to conduct election and should offer some real choice to the voters. Okay. Then third one, the choice should be offered at a regular interval. First one vote, equal value. Okay. The second one, here is parties and candidates should be free to contest election. Parties and the candidates should be free to conduct election. The third one, the choice should be offered at a regular interval. Here offered at a regular intervals. Elections must be held regularly after every few years. Okay. Elections must be held regularly after every few years. Regular interval. Idavedable 5 വർഷം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ അടുത്ത election നമുക്ക് പുതിയ leaders elect ചെയ്യാം. Okay. We can select our another representatives. That is the another speciality of the first one person have one vote, that one vote have equal value. Like every adult person have right to vote. There is no classification among the people. That is the first. The second speciality, parties and candidates should be free to contest elections and should offer some real choice to the voters. The third one here is, so should be offered at a regular intervals. Elections must be held regularly after every few years. Then fourth one, the candidates preferred by the people should get elected. Listen, the candidate preferred by the people. Okay, listen, the candidate preferred by the people should get elected. The candidate നമ്മളാണ് ഓരോരുത്തരെ എലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ബീൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത് നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കുന്ന വോട്ടിന്റെ ബേസിലാണ്. Okay. Fifth one, elections should be conducted a free and fair manner. Elections should be conducted a free and a fair manner where people can choose as they really wish. Here is a free and fair election. That's why here we can choose freely. Free and fair election ആകുന്നത് നമുക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള രീതിയിൽ നമുക്ക് അവരെ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാം. But these are the important things. Okay. Listen, these might look very simple and easy conditions, but there are many countries where these are not fulfilled. In this chapter, we will apply these conditions to the elections held in our own country to see if we can call these democratic elections. Okay? Listen, the introductory part of this topic, there is one question arises. Which question? How can we distinguish the election? Is it democratic or not? Election നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ democratic ആണോ non democratic ആണോ എന്ന് എങ്ങനെ ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യാനുള്ളത്. On the basis of we discussed here is 5 points. Okay, what is the speciality of the democratic election? The first one, what is that? Here is everyone should be able to choose. That means here is everyone should have one vote. Every vote have equal value. It is the first one. Then second one here is parties and candidates. Okay. Here the second one here is parties and candidates should be free to contest election. Okay. Free to contest election. It is the second speciality. Then next, what is the third one? Yeah, here is regular interval. Here is existing some regular interval. Then fourth one, candidate. Okay. Here is who elected this or preferred. The candidate preferred by the people should get elected. Candidate preferred by the people. It is the fourth one. Candidate preferred by the people. Then fifth one. What is the fifth point? Yeah. That is the important free and fair election. It is the another speciality. Here free and fair election. Is it clear? Now here we discussed what are the important things related to democratic election. Our election democratic identify clues are here. The first one, each person have one vote have equal value. The second one, the partisan candidates here free to contest an election. Then here existing regular interval every few years we can elect another ruler. Then candidate preferred by the people. Next one, free and fair election. Is it clear? Okay. Then next topic. Is it good to have political competition? Okay. Here is one another question. That's a heading, but that is a question. Which question? Is it good to have political competition? A political competition is it good to have political competition? Elections are thus all about political competition. Okay, we know that elections and there is a political competition. This competition takes various forms. Okay, in every election there is existed some competition, political competition. That's various types of political competition. Then the most obvious form is the competition among political parties. Okay. The most obvious, the most important competition among the political parties. Competition political parties. Then at the constituency level, it takes the form of competition among several candidates. If there is no competition, elections will become listen. If there is no competition, elections will become pointless. What is our heading? Is it good to have political competition? Political competition that is our question or that is our heading. On the basis of here, we know that in an election there is some competition, existed some competition. Okay, firstly we can say there is existed political party, competition among the political parties. Actually, party competition. You just imagine there is no political competition. Election will be pointless. Election suppose class leader elected. Chosen which person voted higher vote that person selected. Okay, then you think about there are only one person, nobody competing to. That is pointless. Pointless. Best competition mark break competition. Otherwise, there is no competition. There is no pointless. There is no aim. Is it clear? Okay. I repeat, if there is no competition, elections will become pointless. If there is, where is the election process? There is no competition. That election become pointless. But is it good to have political competition? Clearly, an electoral competition has many demerits. Okay, competition, that's good, but here is political competition or electoral competition that has some demerit. What do you mean by demerit? Like electoral competition, there is some demerits, existed some demerits. It creates a sense of disunity and factionalism in every locality. Okay, it created, or thus political competition that created disunity and factionalism. Unity, that is the demerit. Then you would have heard of people complaining of party politics in your locality. Different political parties and leaders often level allegations against one another. അലിഗേഷൻസിലെ അവരെക്കുറിച്ച് തെറ്റായിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ചിലപ്പോൾ പ്രചരിപ്പിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും മോശമായിട്ടുള്ള അവരുടെ പോരായ്മകൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാണെന്നുള്ളത്, കാരണം അവരെ ഉയർത്തിക്കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്, മറ്റൊരാളെ പോരാത്ത ആളാണെന്നുള്ള ആ ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. ഓക്കെ, in which then here is some allegations against one another. Parties and candidates often use dirty tricks to win elections. Maybe there is used some dirty tricks. These political parties or candidates, they used some dirty tricks. Okay. Then some people say that this pressure to win electoral fights does not allow sensible long-term policies to be formulated. Some good people who may wish to serve the country do not enter this arena. Okay, they do not like the idea of being dragged into unhealthy competition. Okay, listen, we know that here is political competition one, but that a healthy competition. Okay, don't try to create there is some unhealthy competition. Okay, that means we want to avoid the unhealthy competition. Political parties, there is maybe created some competition that maybe create there is some disunity, and further we discussed here is some problem. Okay, last what is that, factionalism or disunity. So we want to avoid that type of situation. Then our constitution makers were aware of these problems, but our constitution makers, they aware means അവർക്ക് ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള അവബോധം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ബോധ്യമുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. But here may be this type of political competition. Yet they opted for free competition in elections as their way to select our future leaders. Listen, our constitution makers are aware of this. That means maybe here is existed political competition. On that occasion, how to manage or how can we avoid the critical situation? That's why then they did so, because this system works better in the long run. In an ideal world, all political leaders know what is good for the people and are motivated only by a desire to serve them. Political competition is not necessary in such an ideal world, but that is not what happens in real life. In ideal world, there is no need of political competition, but what happens here is in real world. Listen, but that is not what happened in real life. Political leaders all over the world, like all other professionals, are motivated by a desire to advance their political careers. They want to remain in power or get power and positions for themselves. They may wish to serve the people as well, but it is risky to depend entirely on their sense of duty. Besides, even when they wish to serve the people, they may not know what is required to do so, or their ideas may not match what the people really want. Listen, our constitution makers think about the political competition, how it affected the political competition. Okay, but here we know that in a ideal world there is no need of political competition, but in case of real life there is existed some political competition. ശരിക്കും പീപ്പിളുടെ ചോയ്സ് എന്താണ്, ഡിസയർ എന്താണെന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞ് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് എന്തായിരിക്കും, ആ ഡിസയർ അനുസരിച്ച് ബിഹേവ് ചെയ്യും. അവിടെ എന്തിൻ്റെ ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്, പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻ ആവശ്യമില്ല, അവർ അവരുടെ നീഡ് മനസ്സിലാക്കി സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈ ചെയ്യും. I repeat the same paragraph. All of you look your textbook. Our constitution makers were aware of these problems, yet they opted for free competition in elections as the way to select our future leaders. Okay, free competition held here is because we want to select our future leaders. They did so because this system works better in the long run. In an ideal world, all political leaders know what is good for the people and are motivated only by a desire to serve them. Listen, here is political leaders know what is good for the people. അല്ലേ, ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താണ് ആവശ്യമുള്ളത്, what is good for the people. they know everything. Political competition is not necessary in such an ideal world. Political competition, that's no need there is. But that is not what happened in real life. People desire correct political leader political competition. There is no need of any dirty tricks. But in real life, what happened there? Okay, they never consider the real choice of the people. Okay, political leaders all over the world, that like all other professionals, are motivated by a desire to advance their political careers. They want to remain in power or get power and position for themselves. They may wish to serve the people as well, but it is risky to depend entirely on their sense of duty. Besides, even when they wish to serve the people, they may not know what is required to do, so or their ideas may not match what the people really want. അതായത് ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താണ് യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ വേണ്ടത് എന്നുള്ളത് ആവശ്യം റിയലായിട്ട് മനസ്സിലാക്കാനാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അവർ നടപ്പിൽ വരുത്തുന്നതും ജനങ്ങളുടെ ഡിസയറും തമ്മിൽ എന്താണ് മിസ്മാച്ചാണ് സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്. അങ്ങനെയുള്ളിടത്താണ് എന്ത് വരുന്നത്, പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ കോമ്പറ്റീഷനും ഡേർട്ടി ട്രിക്സൊക്കെ യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് വിൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. ദേ ഓൾവേസ് തിങ്ക് അബൌട്ട് ദെയർ ഓൺ പൊസിഷൻ. ദേ നെവർ കൺസിഡർ ദ പീപ്പിൾ നീഡ്സ്. Is it clear? Okay. How do we deal with this real life situation? Okay, ideal world there is no need of political competition or dirty tricks. But in case of real life, there is existed some political competition. How can we solve this situation, or how can we avoid this type of problem? Here is one question arises. One way is to try and improve the knowledge and character of political leaders. Here only one way. What is that? Try and improve the knowledge and character of political leaders. Try and improve the knowledge and character. Like അറിവും സ്വഭാവവും improve ചെയ്യുക. Who's the leaders? The other and more realistic way is to set up a system where political leaders are rewarded for serving the people and punished for not doing so. The first thing, try and improve character. Knowledge and character. First എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളത് അറിവും ക്യാരക്ടർ സ്വഭാവം ഇംപ്രൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുക. ഇനി മറ്റൊരു മാർഗം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്തായിരിക്കും? അവാർഡ് കൊടുക്കുക. ആരാണ് പീപ്പിളുടെ ചോയ്സ് നന്നായി മനസ്സിലാക്കി നല്ലതുപോലെ റൂൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, അവർക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും റിവാർഡ് ഓഫർ ചെയ്യുന്നു. ലിസൺ, the other and more realistic way is to set up a system where political leaders are rewarded for serving the people and punished for not doing so. അല്ലേ, ചെയ്യാത്തവർക്ക് എന്താണ് ശിക്ഷ നൽകുക. ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഒന്നും ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ that person has some punishment. Is it clear? Okay. Who decides this reward or punishment? Okay. Here want to give some reward or punishment. Who decides this reward or punishment? Simple answer. Who decide? People. People decide is the leader rewarded or punished person. അല്ലേ, അയാൾക്ക് റിവാർഡാണോ പണിഷ്മെൻ്റ് ആണോ കൊടുക്കേണ്ടതെന്ന് ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ആരാണ്? പീപ്പിളിൻ്റെ നീഡ് അനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് ബിഹേവ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, അത് സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈ ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഷുവർലി ദാറ്റ് ലീഡർ വാണ്ട്സ് സം റിവാർഡ്. ദിസ് ഈസ് വാട്ട് ഇലക്ട്രൽ കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻ ഡസ്. Regular electoral competition provides incentives to political parties and leaders. Then, regular electoral competition provides incentives to political parties and leaders. They know that if they raise issues that people want to be raised, their popularity and chances of victory will increase in the next election. അടുത്ത ഇലക്ഷനിൽ അവരുടെ പോപ്പുലാരിറ്റി ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് അവരെന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഇഷ്യൂ കൊണ്ടുവരും. അപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് എന്താണ്, പബ്ലിസിറ്റി കൂടും. അപ്പോൾ അവർ എന്താണ്, അതുകൊണ്ട് അടുത്ത ഇലക്ഷനിൽ വിൻ ചെയ്യാം, അങ്ങനെയുള്ളൊരിത്. പിന്നെ പബ്ലിസിറ്റി ഇംപ്രൂവ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഇഷ്യൂ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. They know that if they raise issues that people want to be raised, their popularity and chances of victory will increase in the next elections. But if they fail to satisfy the voters with their work, will not be able to win again. Listen. But if they fail to satisfy the voters, പക്ഷേ അവർ ഈ വോട്ടേഴ്സിനെ സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്നതിൽ ഫെയിലിയർ ആവുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ their work they will not be able to win again. അവർക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും പിന്നീട് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, വിൻ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കില്ല. ഈസ് ഇറ്റ് ക്ലിയർ? അവർ വിൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന അവരുടെ വർക്ക് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ പെർഫോമൻസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരവരുടെ ഡ്യൂട്ടി പങ്ക്ച്വലായിട്ട് ചെയ്യുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അവിടെ റെഗുലർ ഇൻ്റർവൽ ഉണ്ടെന്നുള്ള നെക്സ്റ്റ് ടൈമിൽ അലക്ട് ചെയ്യണം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഡ്യൂട്ടി പങ്ക്ച്വലായിട്ട് ചെയ്യണം. ഇഫ് ഹി ഫെയിലർ ടു ഡൺ every activity, surely the next time his chance also lost. Is it clear? So, if a political party is motivated only by desire to be in power, even then it will be forced to serve the people. So, if a political party is motivated only by desire to be in power, a political party power എന്നുള്ളൊരു അധികാരം എന്നുള്ളൊരു ആഗ്രഹം മാത്രമാണ്. Okay, listen, here is it. Motivated only by desire to be in power, even then it will be forced to serve the people. എന്തിനും കൂടി ആയിരിക്കണം, പവർ എന്നുള്ളത് മാത്രമല്ല, ടു സെർവ് ദ പീപ്പിൾ, അല്ലെ, ജനങ്ങളെ സെർവ് ചെയ്യാമെന്നുള്ളൊരു ഇത് കൂടി ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. ഓക്കെ, then even if a shopkeeper is interested only in his profit, he is forced to give good service to the customers. If he does not, the customer will go to some other shop. Listen, here is one example. Even if a shopkeeper is interested only in his profit, but shopkeeper പ്രോഫിറ്റിൽ മാത്രമാണ് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റഡ് ആകുന്നതെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്തായിരിക്കും, ഒരിക്കൽ ആ ഷോപ്പ് വിസിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത ആൾ പിന്നീട് എന്തായിരിക്കും, നെക്സ്റ്റ് ടൈം he visited to another shop. Same as in case of here is political leaders. Even if a shopkeeper is interested only in his profit, he is forced to give good services to the customers. അല്ലേ, പ്രോഫിറ്റ് വേണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സിനോട് നല്ല ഡീലിങ്സ് ആയിരിക്കണം. If he does not, അത് അദ്ദേഹം ചെയ്തില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ what happen there? The customer will go to some other shop. The customer is not waiting there. He will choose other shop because here is more opportunities. He can select another shop. He is not ready to depend upon the same shop. Is it clear? Same as in case of our leaders. Firstly, we elect one leader. That's not, we are not satisfied with his rule. We can elect another rulers. The next time we choose the another leaders. Is it clear? Okay. Then, similarly, the political competition may cause the divisions and some ugliness, but it finally helps to force the political parties and leaders to serve the people. Okay, listen here. In every political party or in every leaders, surely they need to consider the need of the people. Otherwise, it is completely affected their position or power. Okay, I repeat. Today we discussed only 2 points. Okay. The first one, what makes an election democratic? The second one, is it good to have political competition? Okay, we know that here is in every democratic country there is existence of election, but all elections are not democratic. That's why firstly we discussed what are the merits of a democratic election, or how can we classify the democratic or not, on the basis of we understood some more important things. Okay. Then next we discussed, is it good to have a political competition? Okay. Then on the basis of, we know that here is a healthy political competition, that is not a problem. That's smoothly going on. Here is people accepted that type of, otherwise we are not supported this. Okay. All of you should read your textbook minimum 3 times. Always I will tell you something. I already told you minimum 3 times, but currently you want to read 5 times, otherwise you have no idea about this subject. Listen, the politics speciality, that is so simple. You think about it is difficult. Somebody think about it, not completely. Somebody think about it is a difficult subject. That's not. It is so simple. Just want to know about what is the basic things. That only. Okay. To be continued on next class. Thank you, children.